One of the most important decisions to make in life is who you choose as a partner, and that is why I want to dedicate an entire video on like conscious dating and actually going into dating with with an intention or with a plan, so that you are attracting someone that truly lives by your own values and who has similar interests, similar ideas about life, and like when it comes to building something long term. Like I used to go out there back in the day just going by chemistry and who I would vibe with, but not so much actually, not at all thinking about does it make sense and is this actually just based on connection, or do we have something to build on? Are we able to create a life together? And by the way, I'm not saying chemistry isn't important. It is obviously important, but it's not the only thing to make a decision on. And for me personally, it got really clear that it's like one of the many things that I need in a man to be my partner, or if you're a man, that you may want in a woman being by your side. And what I'm sharing with you today is something that I experienced and learned from my dating and relationship coaches, Kelly and Matt. And yeah, it is really amazing that once you're clear about what you want, then it's so much easier to bring that person into your life, or like start noticing these men and women that are a potential for being a life partner. That is where conscious dating starts. It starts with you reflecting on what's important to you. And so let's dive in. I'm really excited. So what they teach is like a full body yes. The way they teach us to separate, like to understand what that really means, is that you're getting clear about is that making sense, like from the head space? Is this actually what I want from the heart space? And also, is this something that I'm sexually attracted to? And it's really important that all three are a yes. And what I found, especially when I didn't have that knowledge and wasn't so clear, and I thought I was clear but I wasn't really, is that I just went by chemistry, and especially my 20s, where I would just feel connected and then be in love and everything else we would figure out, when that's really not an ideal approach. Because yes, you can feel connected to someone, but then what if you have different lifestyles and it actually doesn't work out in the long term? Then it becomes very painful, and you start romanticizing a person and that they will change, when really this is not love when you want to change someone, right? Let's start with how this works. So like I mentioned, they distinguish by 3 parts. What I can suggest is to take out a journal or your laptop and write down in an exercise that we will start in a second what is really important to you. And I will give you examples for each one. For like the head, basically what makes sense, and does this connection make sense logically? And we'll dive deeper into examples in a moment. Is it actually, do I feel connected? Am I feeling this from the heart? And then last but not least, you're paying attention to your primal needs, where you're deciding and discovering for yourself at first, like what's important to you when it comes to intimacy, sex, and desire. To each one of these, let's call it sections, I have brought with me quite a few examples, so you get an idea what you could basically pick or choose as an inspiration for what you want in a partner. And what I would suggest is like write down the most important ones, maybe 3 points for each, like the head and the heart and the primal needs. Obviously you can have more than that, and that might be a plus if the person like carries the same ideas or values. But also, just for you to be as clear as possible, it really helps to nail it down to 3 for each. Okay, so now let's get into it. And feel free to pause that video and write down for each section what is important to you. So here are some examples. For the head, basically, does this connection make logical sense right now for my life. And you can think about things like, if you're religious, I desire a man or a woman who has a God as his highest priority, or his religion or her religion as a priority. Are they in a stage of life where he or she is ready to have kids and marriage? So like that you're on the same page of these things. Is he or she financially responsible, and are they managing their money really well? Or what about health, right? So does a person value health and constantly is working out or eats healthy? He has or she has the same spiritual beliefs as me, similar maybe to religion. Are they preferring nights out, or are they more of a person who is staying in? Does she or he likes cats or dogs? And this is probably a big one for us nomads. Are they able to work from anywhere in the world, or what's their work environment like? Or if you're more an expat, have they established themselves in like a location where I feel desired to create a future with someone? And then another one that might be important to you is like, are they stable in their career, in their purpose? Do they enjoy what they're doing? So these are a couple of ideas where you can think about, well, if I feel attraction for someone, there's chemistry, but also do they fit into the life that I want to have or I'm already living, and is that a good fit? Because if not, and you have different ideas about marriage, for example, or different ideas about having kids, then even though you really feel attracted to someone, that becomes really difficult long term, right? So now as I read these ideas out to you, you may want to pause that video right now and just think about for yourself what's important to you. And obviously you don't have to use what I just read to you, but you can come up with your own ideas what you value. All right, so next is about the heart space, where you just tune in and make a decision with your heart. Does he or she feels good when you're with them? And a couple of ideas that can help identify like what from the heart space is really important to you could be following things. So they pay attention to the small things, they respect you, they like enjoy having your opinion, you feel physically, emotionally, sexually, mentally safe with them. Are they listening actively? Do they hear and really hear me? Can they have an open and honest conversation with you about also challenging and difficult things? And are they authentic? He or she is attentive to me. Is he or she ready for a commitment? And is it something that you don't have to sell them to them, but they actually want that themselves? And last but not least, is there easy and connected communication where you feel completely safe to share anything with that person? So as you can see from the heart space, it really is all about communication and how do I feel around that person. And hopefully these ideas give you a little bit of an idea what you can pick as your first 3 top priorities in choosing someone. Let's talk about the primal desires. I think it is really important to understand, do you want, for example, a monogamous, I always say this wrong, monogamous relationship or a polyamorous relationship? I hope you understand. You just need to be really clear that what you want. Like if you're meeting someone and the headspace is amazing, the heart space is amazing, but they want different things in their intimacy and sexual life and want to be with multiple partners, then building that up and giving your own need up for another person is probably just gonna hurt you. And so being really clear about that is, I think, is really important. So other aspects that fall into that section is, for example, do they smell great, or do they want or are willing to wait with sex until marriage? I know that some people have these desires. You find him or her super sexy and attractive, or he or she is kinky, or you want someone who's sensual and tantric, Or do you want someone who is playful and is excited about trying out different things with you? So as you can tell, this is really all about sexual desires, intimacy, and if you're sexually a good fit. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, because I think I've mainly made my decisions based on the heart space. Never really have I taken the time to think about what my head thinks. Does it logically make sense? I personally have never really thought about all three of them in combination, but really this is a full body yes, and when it feels like this is the most beautiful experience. It really has helped me to get clear and to be able to communicate what I want, and if that's not met, then are they actually a fit? And do I really want to trade a need that I have that is really important to me? But if you're not really clear about that, then sometimes it can kind of get lost in that experience, and often it's too late. So being able to communicate that and then seeing how to like shape a relationship and see if your potential partner is a fit can really help you to stay away from being heartbroken. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if this kind of concept helps you as well. I thought it's genius because so often I'm just thinking, or I was thinking about my values, like friendliness or kindness, and of course all these things are also important, but never have I thought about, like, does it logically make sense? Does my heart desire this? And is the intimacy and sexual desires, are they compatible? And yeah, I'm curious what your go-to was, and if you could apply now this concept to you. I would suggest to keep it at 3 for each area, for each section, just to be able also to like memorize this and to not overwhelm yourself. And also, does everything need to be met in a person? No, but at least you should be aware of what you're agreeing with and what you what your heart desire really is, and being able to communicate that properly. What I would just stay away from is romanticizing a person, and this really helps you to not do that, to not fall into that trap. So I hope that was helpful, and I see you in the next video.